Sam Garcia over here, whose brother Raul Garcia Jr. passed away in Vietnam and is my co-worker. And we worked together for a few years, and then I found out that the very hallowed ground that my father was laid to rest in, his brother is not too far away. On that day, he became my brother, not my co-worker. I can tell you, after 52 years, I died every single Memorial Day, feeling the pain that my mother felt, and the horrible feeling that she has every time she hears taps. It takes her back to that very day when they lowered my father's casket. But my father's story is a love story. He met this beautiful little Mexican girl on a bus. He was coming back from Hawaii. He was going to his next duty station in Fort Hood, Texas. And he was supposed to get off the bus in Stringtown, Oklahoma, to see his mother, who he hadn't seen for a couple of years, and he decided to stay on the bus with my mom. And then 3 months after writing letters to her, came down to the Rio Grande Valley, and with about 7 Mexican strapping young men and her dad, asked for her hand in marriage. He was blonde and blue-eyed, and let me tell you, in 1959, 1960, that was a thing to witness. He was a very altruistic and loving man. He was teaching or training his men to go to Vietnam. And 3 young men came to our home where they lived off base and begged him to go to Vietnam. He had served an overseas tour over in Germany, so he didn't have to go. But one of the young men, about 18 years old, fell to his knees and wrapped his arms around my father's waist, crying, and begged him to go to Vietnam. He turned to my mother, who was pregnant with me. He said, "Honey, the Lord is gonna take me whether I'm here or if I'm there. And I can't abandon my men." I'd like to read the letter that my mother received. For heroism in connection with military operations against a hostile force, Staff Sergeant Daly distinguished himself by heroism in action on 4 October 1966. While serving as a squad leader during the extraction of a downed helicopter pilot from hostile territory in the Republic of Vietnam, as his company came under intense enemy fire from several fortified bunkers and dikes, Sergeant Daly led his squad in an aggressive flanking action, but heavy enemy fire pinned the squad down before they could reach their objective. Exposing himself directly to enemy fire, Sergeant Daly executed a one-man assault on the bunker, which had effectively halted the forward progress of his squad. He was successful in suppressing the enemy fire sufficiently to enable his squad to resume its advance, but was mortally wounded while doing so. Sergeant Daly had determination, devotion of duty, and concern for the welfare of his men, in keeping with the highest traditions of military service, and reflect great credit upon himself, his unit, and the United States Army. He could have very well sent those 3 boys to attack that nest, but he did it himself. And that one action resonates to this very day in the very pit and marrow of my soul. Some people get that beautiful reunion that we all see on social media. We don't get that, do we? But it's our duty to remember and to continue our respect and love for this beautiful country of ours, that great men and women who've given their lives for. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you, and thank you for honoring my father and these brave men here today. God is great. Thank you, Sam.
Okay. On this additional speakers, I'd like to say something. I do have three of my buddies. There we go. Super Ron.